Most villains crash and burn because they believe in nothing. But Jaime Lannister, he got wrecked because he believed in one thing way too much. He knew what honor was supposed to feel like. Courage, loyalty, all that knight in shining armor BS. But every single time he reached for the better version of himself, something yanked him right back. Something he wanted more than anything else in the world. Everybody remembers one name for him. Kingslayer. Not the guy who saved 500,000 people, just Kingslayer. Here's what actually went down. The Mad King, total psycho, gives the order, burn King's Landing to the ground with wildfire. Everyone dies, women, kids, the whole city, save no prisoners. Jaime had sworn an oath to protect the king, but he also knew letting that happen would be straight up evil, demonic if you will. So he walks up, pretty much says no, and stabs the king dead, breaking his biggest vow to stop a massacre of the innocent. Cool, right? Hero moment, applause, standing ovation, except he doesn't tell anybody why. He's too proud to do so. He doesn't want to look weak. So Ned Stark walks in, sees the dead king, and gives him that classic, "You disgust me" stare. And just like that, the whole kingdom decides Jaime's the villain. Here's the messed up part nobody talks about. The same rich jerks who would have shrugged while the city burned are suddenly clutching their pearls. How dishonorable. Like, dude, you were cool with genocide 5 minutes ago, but this is where you draw the line. That's the wound right there. Jaime learns honor isn't real. It's just a theater, a costume, and once you figure out the whole world's rules are fake, morals and all, you just stop believing any of them. And that one scar, it set him up to make the biggest mistake and the darkest choice of his life. Because when honor feels like a joke, the only thing left that still feels real is the person you love more than anything. Jaime isn't some empty villain who was born evil. He became cynical. That first wound, the Kingslayer thing, taught him that the world's rules are fake. So what's left when honor feels like a costume? That's been all your life. Well, desire. And Jaime's desires are stacked like a pyramid. At the bottom, he wants to be a decent guy. Above that, he wants to be admired. Remembered as the greatest knight ever. But right at the top, only one thing. Cersei. She isn't just his sister or his lover. She's his mirror, his twin, his whole secret religion. Everything he does, he measures by how it makes her look at him. And that's where things get dark. Because loyalty only sounds noble when it's pointed at something worth it. When it's pointed at her, it's just a fancy word for "I'll burn everything else down if you ask." Unlike for the king. Remember Bran, that little kid who saw them together? Jaime doesn't push him because he's a psycho who loves hurting kids. Quite the opposite, in fact. He pushes him because in that split second, the pyramid inside him decides Cersei is greater than everything else, greater than family name, greater than being a good knight even, and definitely greater than some random boys. He knows it's wrong. He isn't stupid, but he wanted her more than he wants to be good. That's the poison he's sipping on. It doesn't feel like evil to him. It just feels like it's some sort of necessary action to get what you want. Villains laugh while they do bad stuff. Jaime doesn't. He sacrifices the good part of himself for the one thing that still feels real in this life. And once that hierarchy is locked in, nothing else can touch it. Not even the truth, not even the part of him that still wants to play hero. Until the world takes his sword hand and everything he built on top of that pyramid starts to crumble. Then the world takes the one thing Jaime trusted more than Cersei, his sword hand. The thing that made him the greatest knight alive. The thing he built his whole "I'm better than all of you" identity on. Suddenly the performance is over. The body itself says, nope, lie canceled. Everything he stacked on top of that pyramid starts cracking. And right when he's at rock bottom, Brienne shows up. Not as some love interest. This isn't a romance. She's a moral gut punch. Brienne is everything Cersei isn't. She doesn't do honor as a costume, she lives it like breathing. She keeps her vows even when it sucks, and the craziest part, she looks at broken, one-handed, cynical Jaime, and she still sees something, or rather someone worth saving. In the bathhouse, he finally spills it. The truth he's been carrying since the throne room. He tells her about the Mad King, about the wildfire, and how he saved the city and got hated. Pretty much tells her that he wanted to be Arthur Dayne, but he became the Kingslayer. And that line, it hit different when you realize something. He still remembers the boy who wanted to be the greatest knight ever. But desire, lust, whatever you want to call it, his love for Cersei kept dragging him back down into the dirt. Every time he tried to stand up straight, it was just one look from her. She was the gravity pulling him down. With Brienne, for the first time, he feels a different kind of want. Not the kind that makes him smaller. The kind that makes him want to be worthy in front of someone who actually deserves it. Brienne becomes living proof that the good part of Jaime actually never died. It was just buried under all that poison and lust and emotion. With her, he gets a tiny glimpse of what freedom could feel like. Honor, passion that doesn't rot, love that doesn't demand you burn the world. It's the closest he ever comes to choosing the right God. Until the moment he has to decide, and he still walks straight back into the fire. And yet, he still goes back. This is the part that drives people crazy. We've watched him lose his hand, crack open, in that bathhouse with Brienne, almost become someone better, someone we can actually relate with. And so here we are, all screaming at the screen, "Don't do it, man. Forget about her. She's not worth it." But he rides back to Cersei anyway. Here's the hard truth nobody wants to hear. Knowing better and actually being free are two completely different things. Jaime finally saw the poison, the chains that held him down. He felt what real honor and closeness with someone could feel like with Brienne. But that insight doesn't automatically delete 10 years of addiction, 10 years of lust that has been stacked on top of each other consistently. Cersei wasn't just his lover. She was his first god, in a sense. His first love, too. The one who told him who he was since they were kids. That kind of gravity is stupidly hard to escape. I mean, it's hard to pull away from someone who continues to call you and who you see as someone you truly love and who you deserve to be with. He doesn't go back because he's stupid. He goes back because some desires are older than wisdom, and it drives us deeper than logic. He knows their love is a ruin, but it's the one he helped build by brick and the one he wants to continue to uphold. So was Jaime Lannister a dishonorable man, corrupted by desire? Yeah, his love for Cersei turned loyalty into blindness and pride into silence. He chose the wrong god again and again. But that's not the full story. Jaime is also one of the most tragic figures in the entire show. He's a man who knew exactly what honor should look like in a world that punished him for it. A world full of hypocrites who wore noble titles while rotting from the inside out. He exposed how fake most honor actually is. In the end, Jaime Lannister is unforgettable because he's divided right down the middle, the knight and the lover, the savior and the oath breaker, the man who wanted to be good but could never stop choosing the one thing that made goodness impossible. That is the real cost of desire. Not that it makes us feel too much, but that it teaches us to kneel before the wrong gods, the wrong desires, the wrong passion, the wrong moral standing point. And even when we finally see the truth, it still holds a lot of us back and it causes us to look back. Thanks for watching, guys. What do you think? Could Jaime have ever truly escaped, or was the pull always too strong? Drop your thoughts in comments below on the entire sibling relationship and the dark hero that Jaime is portrayed at. Did you mess with Jaime, or you couldn't wait to see him off from the show?